Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. Packed crowd here today as we celebrate this National World Smile Day today, which I think is great. Jean provided me my button, my pin. So I'll give you a few updates on the police department, kind of what's going on right now. We've been very busy. I don't know if you've seen the news. It's not that I like going on the national news, but we had someone that discarded 6 puppies in the Blackstone River. So yeah, there's nothing like people calling you saying, "Hey, you were on the local news in Denver," you know. But we're making some headway on the investigation. I'll leave it at that. The puppies are doing fine. Things have started to quiet down. We're getting a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of social media requests regarding the puppies. What we're going to do is they're all fine. We're going to use a third party, someone that's reputable that can basically find them forever homes. So what will happen is, because they're so popular, we want to make sure that the right people adopt them. So they won't know that they have these celebrity dogs until after they've been adopted, and then we'll notify everyone. So if you know people that are interested, basically it's going to be kind of an anonymous type of thing, just because it's been inquiries from Pennsylvania, I mean across the country, that people want these dogs. So I say to people, there are so many animals out there that are looking for really forever homes. Don't just focus on these dogs. You know, please go to your local shelters and see what you can do to give them a happy home. So today, some other doings just before we get into who our guest speaker is, absolute rock star, Chief Kessler. Basically, we've been very busy as far as drug work goes with the drug task force. Bears had a few hits recently, the last being a decent amount of fentanyl. As you know, fentanyl's 100 times stronger than heroin. So we're really proud of the officers, very proud of the officers, and very proud of Bear and Officer Stockwell. This is, as I told you, this program started on the Stanton grant, which was a private grant, which is probably close to $40,000 now that we've utilized. We're probably a year and a half ahead of schedule with that program under my timeline. So I'm very appreciative. We're actually making a difference. The community policing efforts, tracking lost people, finding people who commit crimes. You know, I say to everyone too, you know, you make sure your doors are locked, your windows are locked. Make sure you don't leave valuables in your car that the public can see walking around, so you don't make yourself a victim of a crime, because we've been having those issues. Detective Pryor just solved one of our breaking and enterings, someone who's doing breaking and enterings all across central Massachusetts. He's a career criminal. We've identified him. He's being held now at the House of Correction. So we're really working hard to try to protect you and make sure that everyone's safe. As you know, I received some additional funding along with the fire chief at town meeting. Because of those things, we're having some changes in town. So whether or not you've heard, but our town manager is now leaving and heading to Leicester. We're going to be doing a search for that. Our town accountant has left and different things. So you may see a little hiccup here and there, but we're committed to the cause. We're going to continue to march forward, making sure that we provide the very best in services to you, residents, business owners, and people traveling through Uxbridge. Today, Chief Kessler is going to give you an update on the fire station project, and I wanted to give you an update with those additional funds. We've made that acting sergeant's promotion. As I've told you many times, supervision is very important to have out on the road for our officers. The other is we're going to be doing some more narcotic-related activity because of the issues we're having in town and throughout the Blackstone Valley. We're not an anomaly here. It's very sad. We want to make a difference. We're working with family continuity. Next week, we're going to another drug court graduation for people that are in a very intensive probationary program. We want to make sure we give them customers down at the courthouse. We want to make sure that we get people, in lieu of going to prison, going to jail, you get help and you turn your life around. So we're going to be working on that with these additional funds, as well as the biggest complaint that I get in town, and I'm sure I'll get one before I leave here today, is traffic related. Speeders, stop signs, accidents, issues. We're going to be putting traffic positions out. You're going to be seeing people out stopping cars a lot more regularly. We're going to be backfilling with our intermittent shifts. 2 officers have put in. They're interested in becoming a full-time traffic position. So they're kind of competing for that job, so I can show the town that this position would more than pay for itself, and it's a need. We're going to show the reduction in accidents, and we're going to show the quality of life rises as far as some of these issues that we're having. So again, we're going to be serving you lunch shortly. When we return, Chief Kessler is going to give you an update on the fire station project. As you can see, it's starting to take shape. Bad news is, obviously, timeline We're a little behind schedule, a lot behind schedule. The good news is we're under budget a significant amount. So this is very important to share with you, and he'll explain all that to you with his staff. I'd also like to recognize that we have one of our selectmen here today, Jen Modica, our DPW Director, Ben Sherman, my administrative assistant, Gene Daly. It's a team. It's a team that makes the dream work. So here we are. We're together, supporting each other, making sure the community continues to move forward. So again, thank you very much for coming here today, the first Friday of every month, for having the police department here, and I will turn it over to our illustrious Senior Center Director, Marsha.
Happy World Smile Day, Chief. Our chief is so dedicated to our community, not just on World Smile Day, but every day. And so I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge a couple of people who work behind the scenes. And today we get to practice a random act of kindness, but it's in thanks and in joy that I am honored to have my friend Jean Daly, who is a member of the Uxbridge Elderly Connection. She works with resolve every day, spreading kindness and joy and hard work behind the scenes as our treasurer. So come on up for a second, Jean. Happy World Smile Day to you from all of us, for all that you do as an Elderly Connection member and as a member of the police department. Thank you so, so much. And I also wanted to take a moment to thank Edwina, who's pouring milk right now, who comes in every single Friday and dedicates her day to helping here at the Senior Center. She helps in many other ways behind the scenes. She helps with our community garden, and she's also a member of the Council on Aging Board. So it's with great pleasure and with thanks, Edwina, that we give you these flowers today on World Smile Day. Uh-oh, she can't stop. I know, she can't stop. Happy World Smile Day, everyone, and thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you. Okay. I think everyone else is here, so we might be able to start a little bit early, but it's a nice day to say thank you to all our staff and volunteers for all that they do for us each and every day, not just on World Smile Day. They spread great joy, and they have special talents that they share with us, and they make our operations better, and they make, hopefully, your lives a little bit better, too. So thank you to all our staff and volunteers and our drivers, and it's a great way to just say thank you on World Smile Day. It's too many of them to bring up. And they don't like to come up. All right, so we'll just take a moment to give thanks for this great day, for one another. We'll think of others in need as we just take a moment before we receive our food.
So basically, a couple of people asked me, they said, Chief, what's that pink band that's around your shield? So basically, I've authorized all our civilian staff to wear pink polo shirts with our badge and their name on it, and the officers to wear pink bands around their shields to designate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I think all of us have been affected by cancer in one way or another, and I think it's really important to kind of recognize and honor those that can't be with us, and also support those that are going through the battle and the fight. When I talked about the puppies, where I was that day of that incident was I was with Mass Chiefs. We were walking the Boston Marathon route, 13.1 miles for the Jimmy Fund. And when I crossed the finish line is when I actually got that message about that investigation. And it's just something that we do as Mass Chiefs to really support those in crisis. And it was a great day to share with you. When we left Wellesley, we got to Children's Hospital in Boston, and there were all the kids. with their caretakers waving to us from the catwalk. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness and see. So, yeah, the chief, I'll be back there again next year, and it looks like I'm being asked by Mass Chiefs if I can chair that committee. So there was 132 of us that participated. My goal is to get 133 of us there next year. So, but without further ado, I'm going to introduce you, Bill Kessler. Chief Kessler, Ben Sherman, Masha, I, the rest of the department heads, we really do work hard and collaboratively together to really try to provide the very best in services to the community. And the chief's going to explain today the nature and the situation in regards to the timeline for the fire station building project, just to kind of give you an update. And hopefully you'll see them in there very soon. So without further ado, the best chief in Massachusetts on the red team, red side, Bill Kessler.
Thank you, Chief. Before I get started, I'm going to answer one question right off the bat so it gets it out of the way. I don't know when the station's going to be done still yet. So before we get into the station, though, tell you a couple of things that the fire department has done separate from that building being built. This past July, we were fortunate to be able to work our budget so that we could add two more career people onto the staff, which allows us to put 3 people in the headquarters station around the clock. And then there's a fire inspector and myself during the week, so daytimes we have 5 people in. We have on-call members who are primarily around nights and weekends, so especially the daytime staffing Monday through Friday is the most important for us so that we can staff both ambulances and still have somebody behind for a third call. With that addition of those 2, we still have a shortage of on-call people to help us cover those nights and weekends. And I don't know, you may have seen recently we're putting some stuff out on social media, and I think we're going to have some lawn signs out pretty soon saying that we're looking for on-call fire personnel. So if you have anybody in your family who have expressed interest in being a firefighter, certainly have them come down and talk to us about it. So now with the station, the project began about 4 years ago, this month actually, when the Board of Selectmen first said, yep, we're interested, let's go forward and do your work to see what size of station we need, where it should be located, and what it's going to cost. And then they'll make that decision if they're going to go forward or not. So we spent about 1.5 years doing the needs and the design of the space needs study and design of the building. And in May of 2015, the town voters approved it at town meeting and as well at the ballot box. So then we got into the construction design, and at that point, once we knew we were going, the state of Massachusetts requires us to hire an owner's project manager for any building project over, I believe it's $1.5 million. And that's so that we have somebody from the outside who's experienced in building construction just to try and protect the town's interests as we go through the process. And I did bring our owner's project manager with me. He's in the back room there. Paul, if you want to stand up. This is Paul Cudmore. He's from PMA Consultants, and he's been on site just about every day for the last 2 years anyways, monitoring the construction. He doesn't have a whole lot of authority, but what he does is watch what the general contractor and all the subcontractors over there are doing to make sure that what they're doing is right for the building code as well as right for what we wanted in the building. And I say this story to explain a little bit about his function. I use it quite often. One day he called me over while I was over visiting, and he said, let me show you something. And they were putting up the foundation walls, the knee walls on the outside. And he said, you can see the iron rod bars on the left side of this, and they stop here, and there's none for the rest of that wall. He says, all I can do is tell them if they pour this concrete, they're going to have to take that wall down and redo it. So he's out there. The subcontractors will try to get away sometimes with stuff that's not quite right because maybe they don't have that rebar in stock. But he's been catching it to help us make sure we have a good quality building. So we put this out to bid as we're required by Massachusetts. We can't just pick a contractor. We have to put together what we want and all the details, which the architect did for us, and put it out to bid, out to the general public or any contractor that wanted to bid on it. And when we got those bids back, the initial estimate from the architect's professional estimator was a $6.5 million cost for the contractor to put the building up. When we got the bids back, the lowest bid was just under $5.3 million. So it was a $1.2 million underbid from what we had been told. And then the next two bottom ones brought it up to about $5.5 million. Under the Massachusetts requirements, we're pretty much required to take the lowest bidder unless we have specific reasons why we can pass over them. And the contractor, Paul, is actually the one who did a lot of research on the three low bids. He went into Boston. They have what's called DCAM, which is a state organization that keeps scores and lists the experience of all the contractors and subcontractors throughout that have worked in the state. And he did the research on it. We really couldn't find any particular reason to exclude this contractor. They were typically smaller. They did projects more about $2 to $3 million and not in the $5 to $6 million. But we couldn't exclude them. So they were signed on, and they got the letter to proceed with the construction in April of 2016. And the original due date was April of this past year, 2017. So they started their work, and we ran into some bumps last year. I mean, you can see the new utility poles here. The wires are up a little bit higher, so we had some obstacles early on that we had to address. And the construction's been proceeding for quite a while. They were supposed to have it done because of some of the bumps last fall. The revised completion date was June 9th of this year. And obviously that's almost 4 months ago now, and you can see it's still not completed. As part of that, anytime a project goes on, obviously the costs go up, especially for the town, for the owner's project manager and the architect, because they have to stay on the project longer. Paul's been here 4 months longer than we expected, and will probably be here another couple of months, or at least a month. But as part of our contract with that general contractor, there's a clause in there that says they need to pay essentially a penalty for each day that they're beyond the completion date of the project. So on June 10th, they started paying we started withholding $1,000 a day from their invoices to us. The full completion was supposed to be done by August 8th. Because they didn't make that date either, it added $1,000 a day. So right now they're paying a penalty of $2,000 a day, which essentially reimburses the town the cost that we have to pay to have our owner's project manager here longer, as well as our architect. So yes, it's true, if a project's not on time, the costs are going to go up. So far, the town is being made whole on that, and we don't see that changing at all. So whatever it's costing us for the extension is going to be covered based on those penalties that are being paid by the contractor. We're getting close to the end of the project now. You saw this week the binder pavement, first coat of pavement went down on one side of the building. They removed the construction trailers from the south side, so they're going to start working on that apron as well. So you're starting to see a lot of finish work being done around. But there's still a lot of interior finish work to be done as well, and it's kind of hard in getting the subcontractors to get people here to get all the work completed in a timely fashion, or certainly as timely as a general contractor would have liked to see. So it seems like every week we keep slipping that date another week, and it's always 3 weeks out is move in. Always, it's 3 weeks out. Our latest move in is supposed to be the week of October 23rd, but honestly, I'm not sure that it's going to be ready in time, because besides just the construction part, there's a lot of, I'll call it paperwork or miscellaneous stuff that the contractor is responsible for. One of those things is training some town employees on all the building systems over there, so we know how they operate, how to maintain them, and what to do if they're going to be needing repair. There's a lot of affidavits and warranties and all that have to be squared away. Obviously, the building's got to be inspected by our plumbing inspector, our electrical inspector, our building inspector, to make sure that all of their codes are being followed. Now, I know all these delays has impacted probably each and every one of you in here in coming down to the Senior Center, and I certainly appreciate all of your patience as we try to get this done. I know you lost the parking lot across the street, which a lot of you would park in to come down here, which created a burden. And again, I'm sorry. We're trying to get this done as quickly as we can, but I'm happy that the town approved the purchase of the lot next door to give. Yeah, that was wonderful, and to give you guys and anybody else who comes down to the Senior Center, and Marcia and her employees, more room over here. Not only just to park, but as Marcia thinks to the future, what else maybe needs to be done to this facility to improve programs. I mean, look how many are here now for lunch, and wouldn't it be nice to have more room? So that just gives some opportunity for future expansion as well. So I know we've created parking problems for you. I'm really sorry. Paul has been diligent almost from the start in trying to make sure that nobody's parking in your parking lot over here. Been trying to keep the trucks from parking right in front of your building as well. So we're getting close to the end. I mean, my guess is probably early November will be the time that we're able to move in there. After that, once we move in, we get 1 week to get out of the old fire station. They are going to remove that building, and they're going to make a new municipal parking lot there. The crosswalk that was right here that basically came into the driveway is going to be moved down the street just a little bit to line it up a little bit better with that new municipal parking lot. That way, one of the concerns of the project team was the current crossing was right on a hill, and there wasn't a great deal of line of sight coming down, as well as getting a little bit closer to the municipal parking lot. One more quick thing. The good news I have for you, and I don't mind saying this because I'm pretty confident it's going to happen, is that the project should come in at least $1 million under budget. So, and that's even after the building committee has authorized some money to fix the side of Town Hall that's going to be exposed once that other building comes down. Nobody's really seen that side of Town Hall since 1928 when that station was built. So we're going to do some work to clean that up. But while we didn't make the dates, we're going to be most important under budget, and we should be able to return money to the taxpayers.
But the parking next, after you take down the old fire station, that's gonna, fire station, that's gonna be for the employee parking for the municipal people, right?
It'll be similar to the parking lot over here. It's both for the municipal employees as well as visitors to either the town hall, the fire station, or the senior center. It's going to be open public parking.
When?
Yes. And just so you know, too, when we talk about the parking lot, don't forget the school administration has moved to the Cove building. So basically, that'll alleviate all those employees that park over there. So there'll be a lot more spaces for the public.
Oh,
Can you give an estimated time for when they'll be available? Just a wild guess.
A wild guess on the parking lot there, I would say by mid-December. We're hoping by first night that parking lot will be there, but reality is that's going to be kind of tight. One thing that I neglected to say as we were talking through it, as going through the project, when we do this building, we try to look to how we can benefit others as well. And I know 6 months ago or so, you had a really stupid thing and a very sad thing happen, and your sign out front was vandalized, and that pineapple was taken. There's outside video cameras on the town hall, but they really couldn't reach down here. There are going to be some outside surveillance cameras, video cameras on the building that are going to cover the front of the building, and they will be covering the front of the senior center, and I believe the range are going to cover both sides for your parking lot as well. From what I understand, the cameras, and I'm not real technical, but the cameras are supposed to be directional, and eventually we'll have the infrastructure in place, the technology infrastructure, so that the people, the dispatchers up in the police station can actually rotate those cameras around and kind of see what's going on if there's something happening in that particular area. Okay, so that's great. They'll be connected, and the fiber will be connected into the police station. Chief Laurie is saying next month. So that's going to, and a lot of people get afraid of being watched by cameras and the cost of cameras, but the reality is in today's world, we need that security. And if we can stop a problem before it happens because of the cameras or even having cameras in place, that's great. But it's a tool to allow Chief Laurie and his department to catch those that don't want to abide by the laws and hopefully just make the community safer for all of us.
Well, there's cameras all over the place anyway.
Yeah.
Even in the grocery store.
Anybody else have any other questions? Yes, sir. There is a generator. There's a big generator that was installed behind Town Hall as part of this project. That generator was sized to provide emergency power not only to the fire station, but to the Town Hall as well. Yes. Yes.
Did the cost of the fire station include the demolition of the old fire station?
Yes, that project, the project figure we were talking about, which was $5.286 million, the original bid, that included the demolition of the old fire station and the parking lot. The total project, that was just a general contractor. The total project was approved at $9.25 million, and again, I believe it'll come in at $8.25 million or less. Any other questions? Well, I thank you very much for allowing me to come and let me give you an update. Thank you. Hopefully, real soon, we'll be able to have some type of ribbon cutting that will be in there, and things will be a little bit more open for all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank our Chief of Police and our Fire Chief for providing such great service to our town and our community, and specifically to our senior center. I feel relieved. I was kind of hesitant about the whole camera thing. We've never had any vandalism here at the senior center, but I think it's important that we share our services and our technology this way, and it's going to provide a lot of safety for us. So I'm really glad that we're partnering together on that particular matter. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I want to thank Cam, too. He's always here and does such a good job with filming for us. Happy World Smile Day, Cam. Thank you so much for all that you do for us. And Paul Cudmore, I don't know if he's still here, but I don't know if you guys know him, but whenever we have any questions or any needs, he's so responsive to us. He is the overseer for the project across the way, and I thank you for fixing our wall. Thank you so much. Somebody backed into our wall, and I needed muscle, and Paul came to our rescue. So thank you, Paul. Thank you, and thank you so much. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Take care. See you next time.